In three, two, one. Richard, what's good?
What's up, baby?
We have a special guest today. Um, some call him Johnny, some call him J-Man, some call him Marshall, some call him MJ, some call him JM, some call him Tyler. Johnny Marshall, say what's up to the people.
Only about 5% of that is true. What's up?
Which of the 5% is that?
Johnny and J-Man Marshall.
All right. Nah, I've called you a few of the other ones. So
That's true.
Yeah, you know what it is.
I'll give it to you.
If you're looking at Richard right now, you'll probably notice that he's drinking some adult ginger ale, as I'll call
Does the audience not know that you have a snapped Achilles tendon? I don't know.
Really, we haven't really brought that up.
We haven't brought it up, no. But
well, now they know.
It's not because I'm holding back. It's just
in the episode with Mo, you can see that you got like a boot on. I think, right?
Yeah.
Well, it'll probably answer a lot of people's questions. Like, our big audience watching this, a lot of them will.
The three people that are watching, let me tell you guys. Well, I tore my Achilles February 21st doing a warped wall. I was running probably 1,000 miles per hour at a wall that's warped up probably 15 feet. And I ran, and as soon as I put my foot on the wall, pow! That's all I heard. Snap. The bluey.
Richard, we were supposed to come with our favorite directors this episode.
Yeah,
now you remember.
All right, Sam. Since you are the most
a film verse person
on the subject, I'll let you go first.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I do have a list because
yeah, he does.
That was our homework, Richard. Although I had made the list prior to that. Let me find it 1 second.
Oh no, here we go.
What do you mean?
But I gotta say, I love that purple light behind you.
Well, you can change it anytime by just telling Alexa to cancel, cancel.
Alexa.
Okay, so
this is light number.
Alexa, turn basement lights off.
Good thing. Yeah, shut your mouth. Good. She didn't even register you. Go ahead, Johnny. Or go ahead, Sam. Samwise. Go with your list.
Wait,
so I had a friend. I had a friend ask me who my favorite directors of all time were. I don't think I had ever thought about it that concretely before. Actually, once in grad school.
All right. So, what is your favorite?
Yeah.
I don't think it needs a prelude.
Story here.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it needs a prelude. I think you can just go into it, and then we can make the story out of that.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go into it.
So my friend asked me who my favorite directors were. I never thought about it concretely before. So I sat down.
Thank you. I was like, just because we stopped it the first time doesn't mean that you can say it in a way. We didn't let you do it again. We want you to get into it. Number one name, and then go from there.
Here's my list.
Are you going?
Shut up.
Wait, how many?
Oh, wow.
How many?
I don't know. I don't know. It's not ranked. This is not ranked this in no particular order. Actually, it's sort of in geographical order because I sort of thought about it in that way. All right.
That's ridiculous.
No, it's not.
Come on.
That's kind of ridiculous.
No, it's actually not.
Well,
why is that ridiculous?
It's ridiculous.
Why is it ridiculous? All right, here's my list. Wong Kar-wai, Edward Yang, Hong Sang-soo, Yahiro Ozu, Akira Kurosawa, Saito Huo, Tsai Tien-huo is his name.
Okay.
Abbas Kiarostami.
You got to say the movies that you've seen with them now because you're just going through them.
Let me just go through the list first.
No, let's go through geography. So we're obviously in Asia.
Where are they?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Is that Italy? Is that Italian names?
Those Italian?
Those Italians?
Asian names.
Sicily.
Sicilian. Yeah. I was wondering because there's so many C's.
All right, ready? And then Abbas Kiarostami, who's Iranian. So now I'm going east to west.
Okay.
East to west.
So
Abbas
east is here,
Kiarostami,
west is here.
Andrei Tarkovsky, who's Russian. So
Russia.
Then going back. a little bit.
I know where that
Depends
is.
where.
Russia is further. The furthest western part of Russia is further west than Iran.
Yeah.
That's true.
Now we're going to Czech directors. Jerzy Menzel,
Check.
Milos Forman, Vera Chitalova, Roman Polanski, although seems to be a terrible person, but his films are pretty good.
Didn't he kill somebody?
No, he apparently like raped a 13-year-old girl or something.
Oh, so it wasn't apparently. He actually did that, and then like didn't he like flee?
Yeah,
he
he
came back.
left the United States. He's Hungarian, I think. So yeah, he went back to Hungary and never came back. But I mean, it is purely movies, not about the person themselves.
No, but he killed. There was like there's something killing about
He was the guy that the Manson murderers were trying to kill, but instead they killed his girlfriend Sharon Tate and some other people who were in the house.
Sharon Tate was pregnant, by the way.
Yeah,
with his kid.
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
Hey, because
was this before or after Chinatown?
Once upon a time in Hollywood, it was someone else.
Oh, this was before Chinatown, huh?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think so. I think Chinatown was 74.
All right. Well, anyways, so
I digress.
He's Hungarian, so that's why he's next. And then we're going to three Germans.
Hey, Johnny.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
German, if you're just tuning in to his life.
Who are you talking to?
The people, the three people watching.
That's us. Are we watching our own podcast here? Is that what's happening?
Michael Haneke. Do you know who that is, Johnny?
No.
Rainer Werner Fassbender and Fritz Lang.
Is he related to Michael?
What?
Is he related to Michael?
Oh, the actor? No, I don't think so.
Okay.
And then we're going to France. Jean-Pierre Melville, Robert Bresson.
This is a long list.
I said that. Jean-Luc Godard. And then Italian, Paolo Sorrentino. Now British, Sam Mendes, Ken Loach, Mike Lee, Andrea Arnold, Steve McQueen, Stanley Kubrick, Hitchcock. Okay, now we're going to Mexicans. Alfonso Cuarón, Alejandro Inarritu. Now we're going to a Argentinian.
Hey, can I just pause you for a second? Yeah. These are the origins of where these people are from, right?
Right, I told you, I thought about it geographically.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I think that there's some
tell
tension here. Some maybe racial or cultural tensions when you bring up where the people are from.
Go ahead, tell them.
Like if something originates in a certain spot, you shouldn't call it that.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is...
because it causes problems.
What I'm saying is this is a good way for people to get exposed to international cinema, which they don't have enough exposure to. And often when you cite the countries, it sparks people's interest. Like, oh, I've never seen an Argentinian film. Maybe I'll check that out. Or maybe I've never seen a Hungarian film. Maybe I'll look up one. So you interrupted my Argentinian one. Her name is Lucercia Martel. And now we're on to Americans. Scorsese.
Wait, didn't you do Americans? Didn't you
Argentinians are Americans. Mexicans are Americans.
Ooh.
All right, we're on.
I like this. Hey, Sam. Hey, Johnny, bring this energy towards Sam all day. All right? Yeah. I want you to bring this energy towards Sam all day.
We're on to American filmmakers in the United States.
Wait, quick question.
Yeah.
Where's Steve McQueen from?
The UK.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about the director Steve McQueen, not the actor Steve McQueen. The actor Steve McQueen is from America.
What about the musician?
I didn't know there was a difference.
Oh, yeah. One's a white, like, blonde-haired man from, like, the 60s who was a Hollywood star actor. The other is a black man from the UK who's the current director. All right. On to the ones from the United States. Scorsese, Terrence Malick, Spielberg, Woody Allen, another terrible person, Wes Anderson, John Ford, Jim Jarmusch, and Noah Baumbach. That's my list.
Wait, did you do the guy who did Roma and Y Tu Mama También?
Yeah, Alfonso Cuarón.
Okay, cool.
That's when I said, and we're going to Mexico. And I said Alfonso Cuarón and Alejandro Inarritu.
What movies has Noah Baumbach made?
Marriage Story.
His most recent one is Marriage Story. Yeah. He also did one called The Squid and the Whale. Have you ever seen that one?
No,
That's a really good one. That's
I
one.
heard it's really good.
Yeah. He also did.
Is that on Prime?
I
I
don't
think
know.
it might be on Prime.
He also did Francis Ha, which is really good. He also did the Meyerowitz Stories, which is a Netflix film.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that was the one with Adam Sandler, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's got some good. He's got some real gems for sure. I never see. His first film was called Kicking and Screaming, which kind of catapulted his.
Wait, that's not the one with Will Ferrell, is it?
No, you're thinking about.
I think that's the same title.
Is it the same title?
I think it might be.
Will Ferrell. Oh yeah, it is the same title.
But it's not the same film.
It's not the same film though, no. But I've never seen that one. But that was his first big film. But yeah, the films I named of his are some of my. I like those films a lot. Johnny, what about you? What are some favorite directors off the top of your head?
I won't say favorite, but I watched Moonrise Kingdom, and I remember liking Budapest Hotel a lot. So Wes Anderson.
There you go.
He's pretty good. And
he's coming out with
like, who's the guy that did The Lighthouse and the Witch?
Robert Eggers.
Yeah. His stuff. I like his stuff. I'm looking for.
I like his stuff too. I him, but I don't know.
I think it's like so original. You know, it's like.
The Lighthouse, I'm still not completely sold on, but I like The Witch a lot.
Yeah.
Did you see The Lighthouse, Richard?
You saw it. I remember you texting me and be like, I don't know what just happened.
It's a lot. But what's The Witch?
It's his debut feature. It's about like this family in like early America who gets banished from their like colony in New England somewhere, and they got to live in the woods. And then their baby disappears.
Oh no!
I think there's like a witch. I probably shouldn't say more.
Yeah.
All right.
It's solid though.
Yeah, it's. I think it's one of the best like, quote unquote horror films. I mean, it's not really horror. It's like not like scary. I don't know. It's not scary. It's just like creepy and eerie.
Suspenseful.
Yeah, it's definitely suspense. It's like it's suspenseful. It's more of like a thriller mystery type movie.
Okay.
All right, so that's a good choice, Robert Eggers.
I like Hitchcock a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the biggest fan, but I think he's a little bit overblown. But I watched the other day. I watched Vertigo, and I thought that was a pretty average movie.
Really? I remember. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember liking it a lot.
Yeah.
Never saw that movie.
Yeah.
Never saw, but that's the one that starts like. I don't want to, but it's the one that starts like at the end and then in the middle and then like it goes backwards.
No.
Oh, okay. I think I'm thinking of a different one. Who directed Vertigo?
Hitchcock. Like an old.
Oh, never mind.
Fat British dude.
Yeah, I know who Hitchcock is, but the one I'm thinking about it definitely came out in like 2000, like 99 maybe, or latest. But
I don't know. There's a lot of movies that like mess with timeline. So
yeah.
It's definitely not a Hitchcock movie.
Doobie.
Yeah. Well, if I'm gonna go through my movies, I don't really have directors, but if I were to think of one that stands out for me, I would have to go Danny DeVito.
He's not a director.
He directed Matilda.
Oh yeah, he did.
Isn't that a crazy thing to think of?
Not really.
For me, it is because I would never put. I would say before he went on Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Danny DeVito was like a character actor. Like he was a person that always played the mean short dude.
Yeah.
But then you go back and you think that he directed a movie like that, and that was one of the first movies where I was like, oh man.
I don't think you can count Danny DeVito as a director. Like he directed like one good movie, and he's mostly an actor. I don't believe in that. If someone directs a movie, no matter how good or bad it is, he's a director. The fact that I liked it is my opinion. And if I say I like it, people ever to list Danny DeVito as one of your favorite directors of all time.
Well, like I said, I don't have a list.
If you
I'm
did,
gonna say one
if you
that's
did Matilda, I gotta back Richard up.
Bro, you can't put him on the greatest directors list for one film.
He's not on the. Is this the greatest director list?
It was a great
our favorite director list.
Huh?
Is this our favorite director list or the greatest director list?
Because I was thinking that it was our favorite director list, right, Johnny?
Yeah, unless we're going by region, then that complicates things.
I still feel like if a guy puts, I would say,
geez. Gesundheit.
For me personally, you'd have to direct a couple great movies to get onto my personal list.
Okay, well,
Hey, when they do this podcast, do they see all three of us at the same damn time?
Yeah. So they're seeing you brushing your hair. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, no, but Danny DeVito is definitely one of the linchpins in the directorial community in Hollywood. I think you put him up there over Steve McQueen and Alfred Hitchcock. You know, just personally, if you're gonna put Vertigo's here. What is the other one? Birds.
A bird sucked.
Matilda is up there somewhere.
Yeah.
Matilda's up in the atmosphere somewhere.
Oh.
Well, I'm glad you know that word, no, Sam. We say it a lot.
Yeah.
Who else? Give me somebody else than Danny DeVito.
You want me to give you another? Okay. You're gonna have to give me the name, but it's a guy who directed the new movie that's called The Gentleman, and he did the movie. Can you look it up? If I move my computer right now, it'll tip over.
The Gentleman.
The Gentleman, or The Gentleman's.
It's a brand new movie. It came out in 2019.
Yeah.
Oh, Guy Ritchie.
I'm a huge fan of Guy Ritchie.
Yeah.
I like Guy Ritchie a lot too. Snatch.
Awesome.
Snatch was solid.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies.
What was it?
Snatch with Brad Pitt. And,
oh yeah, you actually showed me that.
Yeah.
Good movie about that movie. That was really good.
Yeah. That
was really, really good. I like the way he shoots his stuff and the way he'll do like the little snap pauses, and then he'll do like the little thing.
Yeah, he's known for his editing for sure.
Yeah, he does that well. He does that really well. All right, look up Kings of the Summer.
Kings of the Summer.
Not to be confused with Queens of the Summer.
Just Queens of the Winter or something.
Jordan Vaugert Roberts is the director.
Okay. And what else has he done? He's done like shows. Yeah. I don't think he's done a lot of movies.
He's
right?
Directed, Funny or Die presents some show called Mashup. The Nick Offerman TV.
Okay. Yeah.
He did Kong Skull Island. That was the other big movie.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, he can't be on your list, bro. I'm sorry.
I would say that movie in itself, Kings of the Summer, and how it was directed and shot, and everything about that movie was incredible. I'm going to put him in there because I don't think it's about the body of work. When it's about directing, it's about a story that you can direct perfectly. Because it's about if you're gonna think about one movie, if you're gonna think about a director, you're gonna think about one movie.
Just one.
That's fair.
Because I wouldn't think of one director and go, oh wow, he shot a lot of movies like the same way that were pretty cool. Like I'm gonna think of one movie that I was really interested in, and I'm going that he directed that impeccably.
You know what I'm curious about? You know what I'm curious about is like people, like directors, like branching out artistically into different boxes, right? Like I feel like they box themselves in with certain styles, you know?
Yeah.
Like I feel like Tarantino, you always expect a Tarantino-esque movie, right? You don't expect him to branch out. Apparently his first movie was really different. I don't think it was Trainspotting.
No, that wasn't. Oh, his first movie was Jackie Brown. No, that wasn't very different at all.
No? And then, but it's like, what were you saying, Sam?
No, I was just saying, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Like, do you have examples of like directors that don't box themselves in with a certain style and or like well versed artistically, or do you see them just like rocking a certain style and making it theirs?
Yeah, I would definitely say most directors stick to a certain style. I hear what Richard's saying. Like, almost it's like, what's the best directed movie you've ever seen? All right, that should be on your best directors list, no matter if they directed one movie or 50 movies. But to me, there's also, for me, it's I respect directors who can keep making great movies. Like, yeah, it's still maybe in the same style, but if you can make great movie after great movie, like, I think it's not easy, but it's, you can direct a great movie and never direct a great movie again, right? So when I'm thinking about directors, I'm thinking like longevity does play a factor because of that.
It's like one hit wonders.
Yeah, exactly. It's like putting MC Hammer on your best rapper list of all time. You know what I mean?
I mean, if MC Hammer was his producer, was the person that his sound engineer and made that song, yeah, I would put him up there with he made one of the greatest hits of all time. He has to be a staple in the music community, because he is. If you're gonna go through music in, what is the 90s? When did MC Hammer come out? 90s? 80s?
As early as the 80s.
Yeah, his name is gonna come up no matter what.
Yeah, but
so if I'm gonna go like best thing ever, I'm gonna bring up the ones that I've seen. But I do understand what Johnny's saying in the like seeing a director direct one sort of movie and then seeing and really appreciating that, and then going over here and be like, this is a totally different movie that I wouldn't expect him to shoot in this way or any of this, and it's still really great. Like he was asking, do you have any examples of that?
Yeah, that's a hard question. No, I think it is really hard to find directors who make big leaps outside of their, like, the box that they've created for themselves. I mean, even like almost all the directors we've all named have. Like, and Wes Anderson's probably the most guilty of that.
Exactly, yeah. Like, do you see him possibly branching out and doing something else? Like, I can't imagine it.
Well, I saw the trailer for his newest movie, and it seems exactly like all his other movies.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it because he's such a horrible person. I don't want to keep promoting him, but Roman Polanski, his movies are pretty wide ranging, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, you can't watch one of his movies and be like, that's a Roman Polanski movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's same with a lot of these Czech directors. Like, Milos Forman was sort of the same way. It's like his catalog, you can't really look at his catalog and be like, oh, that's a Milos Forman movie. But the thing is, in this new age of like hyper,
who is that? It's
Vanessa, our producer, texting us, who's supposed to be. She just woke up from the greatest nap, but now she messed up her sleeping schedule. Richard said, you can join if you want. She said, nah, you should record with Johnny. She's going to game night now.
She's 10 minutes late.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What was I saying? Yeah, now in this like era of like hyper marketing and, you know, all that kind of shit, like a lot of the great directors who come up are these sort of like within a box directors, because Hollywood wants to keep pumping out that sort of genre, you know what I mean? Or that mystique of that director. Like, oh, this is a Wes Anderson movie. Everybody is excited about it. Oh, here's a new Tarantino. You know what I mean?
You're right.
But like for example, Milos Forman, he directed One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Amadeus.
Did he really?
Yeah, The People.
Which one's Amadeus? I'm sorry. I mean, interrupt you.
What's that?
Amadeus.
Amadeus is about like the piano dude, the like classical musician. It's about the life and success and troubles of Wolfgang Mozart. Yeah, Mozart. That's what it is.
I love One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
He also directed like Hair, which was like that big musical.
Yeah.
He also directed, what's that one with Jim Carrey? Oh, Man on the Moon.
No. Wow, that was a great film.
Yeah, he also, like, really early on in his career, when he was still making Czech movies, he directed this movie called Fireman's Ball, which is an amazing, amazing movie. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, his films are pretty wide ranging in terms of like I mean, Spielberg is pretty wide-ranging, although he kind of also did create his own like style too.
Say that again. He does what?
I said Spielberg is pretty wide-ranging, although he did kind of create his own style and his own mystique behind it.
I feel like once you make a certain amount of movies, you're just gonna have to kind of go back into the well of what's worked and what's not for you.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
But I said that because Spielberg is sort of known for being the most recognizable filmmaker. Like,
I don't really like him though.
I mean, here's my thing. It's like if you look at a movie like Schindler's List, I mean, you can't. That's nothing like Jurassic Park. You know what I mean? Or like even like his newer, like the Post and Bridge of Spies were basically the same, like in terms of.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's complicated with him, but Johnny doesn't like him.
I'm not a big fan.
You're not a big fan of Spielberg?
No, I'm just like seeing the Post. I like to Catch Me If You Can a lot.
Yeah.
But he just seems to like fall into like the whole like the music like makes it super dramatic, like just like kind of like cheesy cliche like Hollywood things that have been out. It's like, come on, let's move on here.
He sort of invented a lot of those things too.
Yeah.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's sort of it's complicated talking about him because he's like, I saw some sort of documentary on him and someone was saying like, he's the most critically acclaimed and at the same time like hated director who's ever existed probably. Some of his movies are huge movies, especially commercial hits. I mean, he, with Jaws and Jurassic Park and Indiana Jones, you know what I mean? Like he's directed some of the biggest hits of all time.
Yeah.
And some of his movies are, he's won Best Director, he's won Best Picture. He's definitely a complex sort of figure in Hollywood.
Did you name what's his name? Del Toro? Guillermo del Toro?
I didn't. I've never really gotten into him a ton.
Like Pan's Labyrinth and Shape of Water and.
I did not like Shape of Water at all.
No, I was on the fence of Shape of Water. I really like Pan's Labyrinth a lot. I thought that was a really good movie.
Richard, I want more directors from you other than.
Well, like I said, I've never been the one to think about.
All right, what's your top 5 movies? And I know that mine changes every.
That's hard. That's too hard. That's too hard because different movies kind of go for different moods. Same thing with music, and
I got one favorite movie. That's my go-to answer all the time. Shrek. The voice talent of Eddie Murphy. Just
actually is a pretty great movie.
Like it is a good movie.
It
has its own theme park ride. It's got, the sequel sucked, but it's got 3-4 sequels, and it tells you the weight of the movie.
Honestly, I think they
keeps a very straight face during all this. So I don't know if he's joking, but I take it very seriously because I really do like Shrek.
I do like Shrek. I tell everyone it's my favorite movie.
Shrek is a good movie.
It is.
It's interesting. Think about, I don't know, some people hate on Harry Potter, but I think it's, and Alfonso actually directed one of those Harry Potter movies. But you think about like they had 8 movies technically, right? Because Part 7, Part 1, Part 2, right?
Yeah.
Those movies, like quality-wise, in terms of 7 movies, I don't know if there's ever been a franchise that has made like 7 good movies. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, Fast and Furious.
All right, now he's joking.
I think I'm putting Marvel in there, and I know you're not gonna like it, but it's there for me. You can say no for yourself, but it's there for me.
I'm saying percentage-wise, they basically. I didn't dislike a single Harry Potters movie. Harry Potters. I didn't dislike a.
They did a great job. They did a great job. They definitely grew with the demographic that I was watching.
I'm saying they're 7 for 7, right? So they're 100%. I don't think there's any other franchise that I could be like, yeah, they're 100%.
What about Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
But then they screwed it up with the Hobbit stuff.
But I kind of I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, but I enjoyed the Hobbit stuff.
I actually like the Hobbits more than I like Lord of the Rings.
No, come on, Johnny, back me up here.
No, yeah, I gotta back Sam up.
I mean, I'm not. It's not a back a situation up.
Sam just asked me to back him up.
I'm just saying I liked it. I liked it more. I'm not saying I dislike Lord of the Rings. I'm just saying the Hobbit. I'm a big fan of who's the actor that played the British guy?
Martin Freeman.
Oh man, Martin. No, what you call him? Martin Freeman.
Freeman.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He's low-key one of the greatest actors
ever.
Yeah.
I think the first three Lord of the Rings are perfect, 3 for 3.
There we go.
But then, as I said, then they screwed it up with the Hobbits.
No, the Hobbit's its own separate thing.
It's part of the same universe.
It's in the same
All
universe.
right,
yeah,
but
sure.
Sam, that's the same way.
What about magical beasts?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, so it has to be connected. It can't be in the same universe. All right, so I'm saying, yeah, all right. The 3 Lord of the Rings are perfect, 100%.
Yeah. Thank you.
There's only 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're long. It might as well be 7, but
they filmed them all at once.
Oh wow, that's why they're so good.
All right, so if you've noticed, we've lost our third companion, Jonathan Marshall. He had to go fight in the Spanish Civil War. So, what are you gonna do?
That was funny.
Anyways, yeah, I would say Lord of the Rings is 3 for 3. Harry Potter is 7 for 7. I can't really think of any other franchises that are batting at 1,000.
But franchises are pretty new in the movie world, aren't they? Like I want to say that it's something that's been done.
They've been around since the 70s, basically. I mean, Star Wars and like Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, those were the first.
Yeah.
Those were like the first franchises, so they've been around for like 40 years.
Okay.
You don't listen to a band I really like called Slater Kinney. Have you ever heard of them?
Slater Kill?
Slater Kinney, Kinney. One of the main women is Carrie Brownstein from Portlandia.
Oh my God!
What?
No.
Put your computer up. See, it's your mouth. What do you mean? No?
I'm not. No.
Dude, they're an amazing band. Like honestly, like they're like considered like a legendary band already.
No, they are not.
Yes, they are, dude. Slater Kinney is crazy popular. I mean, amongst like their community, not amongst like the mainstream.
The community is American feminist punk.
I mean, no, I'm saying they're not mainstream popular, but within like the punk rock community, they're like huge. Like they're considered like legends. Anyways, my point is that I heard her in an interview.
They made 8 albums.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of theirs. I have most of their albums on my saved on my Spotify. And I saw an interview with her once. Actually, Maggie Rogers was interviewing her, and Maggie Rogers is the new kind of pop folk girl.
I know.
And Maggie asked her, like, what do you look for when you listen to music? Like, how do you know or why do you like a certain artist? And one of the things she said is, like, they progress. They don't, like, stay in a certain box. Or they don't stay in, like, a certain lane. They, like, progress. They're always moving. And that's how, like, she picks her favorite artists, which kind of goes back to what we were talking about in terms of, like, the movie directors. And actually their latest album, I started listening to it. And at first I kind of had that kind of, oh, this is not like their old stuff, man. I don't like it as much. Their old stuff was so much better. And I remember what she said, like, oh, I like artists who are constantly like pushing the boundaries. And then like I listened to it with that in mind, and now I love that album.
Okay, I like that. So I'm gonna give Slater Kinney a listen to. I'm not a fan. I don't know if I'm a fan of that sort of sound, but I can give it a chance.
If I was, I'd say if you're gonna listen to one of their albums first, I would say listen to.
Hold on. Why can't I find their discography?
Go on.
Isn't it music with St. Vincent?
What?
So St. Vincent and
produced their last album.
Like I actually like a few songs from St. Vincent.
And maybe you will like Slater Kinney because I mean they have a sort of similar sound.
I like sort of what did I say their classification of music was?
Feminist punk rock.
Feminist punk rock. I couldn't tell you I couldn't tell you the artist, but I have heard a few songs that I was like, yeah.
You know that St. Vincent and Carrie Brownstein are in a movie together that's coming out?
The St. Vincent an actress.
I guess she is now.
Has she acted before?
Not that I know of. And I think they might have dated or something. I'm not exactly sure, but
She's a lesbian?
who?
Portlandia girl?
Oh, Carrie Brownstein? Yeah. I mean, I think she mostly says like she doesn't like to label herself, but from what I've seen of her, like when I followed her career, it seems like she mostly dates women. It seems like.
I you know why that disappoints me? Because I knew it.
Well, actually,
and I knew that if she were to choose one side or the other, I was like, Carrie Brownstein is the type of girl I was like, I want her to be my wife 20 years from now. I want to be 48 years old looking at her and being like. I want to wake up to a Carrie Brownstein sort of girl.
Yeah, me too.
You know?
Yeah. But actually, the interesting story about Slater-Kinney is that there's two main women in it, and then there's a drummer who actually recently dropped out of the band, and then they kind of bring in bassists and other pieces. But like, it's basically like the main two people are Carrie Brownstein and
Corin Tucker.
Corin, yeah, and they actually, when the band was first coming up, they were like dating, Corin and Carrie, and then there's all these rumors they broke up, and they're like the band broke up, and there's all these rumors that they broke up because the band broke up because they broke up, yada yada yada. But now Carrie is like married with children, like married to a man and has children.
Okay.
And Carrie is still, I guess, single. But there was rumors that she was dating St. Vincent.
Like before, like she dated St. Vincent.
I don't know. Maybe they're still dating. I don't know. I mean,
he was married with kids.
St. Vincent?
Carrie Brownstein.
No, Corin. The other member.
Or is it Corinne? I thought it was Corin. Corin.
Corin. I think it's Corin. I think I've heard them say Corin. But I'm saying Corin and Carrie dated when they first were when they were young, when they were coming up as Slater-Kinney. Then the band broke up.
9-year hiatus.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, 9 years.
9 years after they went on a hiatus. Yeah. Damn. Were you a fan of theirs back then, or is this like a new sound that you've been?
No, I got into them like a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I got into them when they probably released No City to Love, so like 2015. Like No Cities to Love was the first album I remember, like the latest album they released when I started getting into them. And okay, I'm trying to tell you that. All right, are you ready for the first album to listen to?
No, I'm not.
When are you gonna be ready, bro?
I have to look up the all right. 95. Woo!
That was their first album, right?
Yeah, called Slater-Kinney.
I would say their third album is the best first thing to listen to. Dig Me Out, 1997.
Okay.
And then if you scroll up.
Hold on, no, you gotta tell me about Dig Me Out because I probably won't even make it past that album. So you have to really sell this album to me for me to even start to listen.
Slater-Kinney is a bit of an acquired taste. Like it's gonna, when you first listen to it, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? And you're gonna be like, I do not like this. Then listen to it again and again. Eventually you're gonna be like,
no. So you want me to get Stockholm syndrome for this band? That's what you want me to get. So essentially,
you know how you were a kid and you thought something was really gross, and as you got older, you appreciated it, and you're like, actually, this is delicious. Like for most people, it's coffee, right? Or alcohol, right? When you're a little kid and you take a sip of coffee, you're like, oh my god, this is disgusting. And then like you get older, you drink a little more, and you're like, actually, this is amazing. That's what Slater. That's exactly what Slater-Kinney is like. They're like drinking coffee at 2 years old, then drinking it again at 15, then drinking again at like 17, then drinking again at like 25. And when you hit 25, you're like, I appreciate coffee. That's what it's going to be like for Slater-Kinney. So that's why I'm warning you, because I don't want you to just turn it off and be like, I don't like this. You got to give it time.
Yeah.
But it's like, all right. I want you, we can mute it when we do this, but I want you to listen to just the first song, see what you think. I want your instant reaction.
Okay. All right.
All right, Richard, what's your instant reaction? Richard has just listened to Slater-Kinney.
Initial reaction. They're good. They are good. They are not bad.
Okay.
If I'm gonna put them in a mood category for me, I would have to be in a very ambitious mood.
Yeah.
You know.
I do it. I listen to them when I'm working a lot.
Yeah, it's one of those like adventurous sort of songs that it almost seems like they're a perfect soundtrack to like a Californication. You know, like you ever seen that show Californication? Like it sounds like their songs would be in that sorry. Yeah, like Californication, and it sounds like it would be in that sound. They also reminded me of a newer artist that does make songs like her, but I forgot her name. But and I remember listening to her and going, I don't think I would like music like this if it was from someone else. And then I heard Sleater and Kinney.
Slater?
It's Sleater.
Not Sleater.
Sleater.
S-L-E-A. Slate.
Sleet.
Not S-L-E-E-T. That would be Sleater. If there were two E's, it would be Sleater.
I keep saying Sleater. That's just her name. But that's not the point. The point is they are interesting. I would have to be in a mood to listen to that. And I feel like my room isn't the best place to be. I'd rather be in like an open area, like a field or something. Yeah. I feel like a field with headphones on is better than in my room at 10 p.m.
I like listening to them when I'm like doing work emails, so I can just like chug through it, like
yeah.
just like just like get to it. You know what I mean?
I can hear that.
Did you know that Carrie and Fred Armisen, Carrie Brownstein and Fred Armisen, the two people in Portlandia, they met because Fred was a fanboy of Slater-Kinney, and I think they said like he was at like an SNL after party, and like Slater-Kinney was like there too, like the band, because they were performing in New York or something. And like Fred ran up to Carrie and was like, I'm such a huge fan of Slater-Kinney, yada, yada, yada. And that's how they met, with him being a fanboy of her band. Which is also interesting because he was like way more famous than she was at that point.
Yeah, like Fred Armisen is like a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people think like he kind of carried her, like, oh, I'm just going to bring my friend to Portlandia, and then she becomes famous.
I mean, she became awesome. That's the interesting part. The fact, I think that's why I have a newfound interest in Portlandia now, because I thought she was a comedian that kind of like was like a failed SNL,
right.
Like she tried on SNL and didn't really make it, but she was friends with Fred, sort of thing.
Yeah, a lot of people have a lot of assumptions about her because her band was like had a big cult following, but wasn't like very mainstream.
Yeah. So when I saw Portlandia, I was like, oh wow, this is funny, and I was like, oh, like she's not like I think she's funnier than Fred, but now that I'm like, wow, she was like a, like a. You
got respect for her now that like she had no acting, no comedy at all.
Exactly.
It's interesting because Yeah, like a lot of people think of that about her, like that, oh, Fred was this big success and he kind of like brought her along. But actually, Fred Armisen was like a failed musician. And
Yeah, I heard.
that's why he liked her so much, because he looked up to her for like years in the 90s. Because he was a failed musician and Slater-Kinney was this like hugely, I mean, like, I'm saying hugely popular, but I mean within the rock, like, you know, like the underground rock scene, they were considered like a really great band and like everybody looked up to him. But then like Slater-Kinney ended, and then Fred's music career failed, and then he became this famous comedian. It's kind of a weird time. Like, you wouldn't think that the timeline was like that. You know what I mean? Most people think like, oh, Fred Armisen became a famous comedian. He brought his friend on to Portlandia, but it was way, way different than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I guess their genre is hot rock. No, that's their album. The hot rock.
I would say it's punk rock.
Yeah, feminist punk rock.
Like almost like alternative punk, almost.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like.
Which and now I'm like, I would laugh so much deeper if I watched Portlandia again, but Portlandia it's such an odd show, man.
I love
so much to watch.
Dude, I've watched it through like three times, I think.
You watched it. What do you say? Repeat that. I'm sorry.
I've watched it start to finish like 3 times.
Mm.
Dude, it's my favorite show, comedy show.
Okay.
Like, period. All right, let me ask you a question. All right, so I heard some people talk about this once. A lot of like younger kids are saying that they put Drake above the Beatles.
Yeah.
No, come on, bro.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm gonna say absolutely because I don't give a frig about the Beatles. I couldn't name you a song. Like the movie that came out, what was it called? With that Indian dude, and then they were like, "Oh, everybody forgot about the Beatles and I sing their song." I think if that happened now, he would be like, "Oh, he's an indie artist," and he wouldn't make money. Drake, if everyone forgot Drake songs, and the person came out, they would be the biggest artists.
It's a hard debate to have because it's so subjective.
Yeah.
What?
I was assuming that you're gonna say that we're in the Drake era.
No, because I'm just saying because it's so subjective, and it's like if you're into the Beatles, then you're fucking into the Beatles, and if you're into Drake, then you're fucking into Drake. And but here's the thing: I feel like I'm the perfect medium. I like Drake a lot, and I like the Beatles a lot.
I wouldn't say you're the perfect medium. I would say that you appreciate both of them, and then you can give your idea. That's all.
All right, fair. Here's my thing.
What is your thing?
I think the message and the lyrics and the music of the Beatles actually sort of changed the world. Like they really changed how people thought about things. I think that Drake is more. That's why I don't really like comparing them because I think Drake is more comparable to like a Michael Jackson than like the Beatles. I think honestly like a J. Cole is more comparable to the Beatles.
Wow, I don't think. So wait. I would assume that. So you're like Kendrick, you mean?
Yeah, like a Kendrick is more comparable to the Beatles. But here's the thing: it's like, I mean, I've watched a lot of Beatles documentaries. Like, they really changed how people thought.
In what way?
They changed about people. Like, they basically brought meditation to the Western world, dude. Like, think about that. Think if a rapper brought like a new form of like spirituality. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm not saying it's impossible, and it might happen, but I'm just saying, and especially this Drake versus Beatles debate, you can't compare them because like the Beatles.
No. Wait, I'm sorry. You can compare them, but there is a different element that is not about their music that you are incorporating. Let's make that clear.
Well, no, I'm saying that through their music, they incorporated a lot of these things about the way that people thought.
The element that you're involving in this is not involved in music. It's about.
I'm not saying that, bro. I'm saying that in their music they talk about things like meditation, and they talk about they bring up concepts like.
I get it, but the abstract thing of the world changing is something that is something that's not about, that can't be compared. Like, you can't add that into this discussion.
Why? That's what music and art does. Is
No. But we're not talking about music. We're talking about these artists. We're talking about these guys and what they've done. We're not talking about. We're talking about their music. We're not talking about the
but music,
corresponding things that have happened because of the music. You gotta understand it, because there's so many factors that go into it. You can't add all those things in.
I agree. They kind of hit it at the perfect time, but
nah, I'm not even talking about the perfect time.
Bro, I think it has everything to do with their music. I don't know why you're saying it does. You can't. I think it has everything to do with their music.
Maybe.
I don't know. I think
I'm okay with saying that I'm wrong in situations. I still don't think I'm wrong, but I'm okay with saying that I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm not saying. I'm just saying my opinion, but that's why I can't bring Drake to a level of the Beatles. And I also think that, like, the Beatles, Drake is a really talented artist.
Like, and I wouldn't put Drake over Michael Jackson. Like, I would say Michael Jackson is number one, and I would say Michael Jackson easily over the Beatles.
I would put Drake over Michael Jackson. I don't know. Again, this is all subjective, but I definitely think that Drake versus the Beatles, it's not subjective. I think, like, you could write a paper on it and, like, cite your sources and, like, I mean, obviously,
you have to have a really liberal professor to be like, yeah, bro. Like, he would have to be smoking weed, but yeah, man, that's perfect.
The other thing is that, like, you know, like, Drake, a lot of Drake's, you're like, Drake knows what he's doing. This is what kind of sparked this, and it's like, or does, like, his OVO team know what they're doing, or does 40, his producer, know what they're doing? You know what I mean?
But that's not what I'm including into this. You're including factors that are not about the music. What you're adding right now about Drake is about the music. Because you're saying it made people think differently. No,
I've moved on.
That's not about music. That's past the music.
I've moved on from that. What I'm saying is that the Beatles were talented artists, but they were also talented musicians, right? They knew how to structure songs. They knew about chord theory. They knew how to write. You know what I mean? Like, Drake, like, everything that the Beatles did in terms of their musicianship, Drake does none of. So for that, Drake doesn't meet the standard.
The standard of what?
Of a musical artist, because he's only one.
Oh my God.
Listen to me.
No, because that's bullshit. That's bullshit. And we've had the discussion about BTS and Justin.
Think about the Beatles.
We can't do that. I don't care. I don't give a shit if Drake couldn't play a piano key.
Why?
Music, because that's not about what he is. That's not about what. No, it's not. That's not music now. Music now and music then. No, it's not. Sam, that's like you going hundreds of years back and like, oh, you don't know how to play a harp? Then there's no way, like, oh yeah, you can play that new instrument that was created then, but you can't play a harp. Like, no, man, it's not about that. Music is adaptable. Music changes. There's gonna be an artist. There's gonna be an artist that comes out that doesn't use literally any musicians and makes the sound with his voice. What's his name? Reggie Watts. Isn't who Reggie Watts? He does that way. He does, like, a sound with his voice, and then he'll do that. Huh?
That already exists.
No, I know they exist, but that's going to be the one that's going to be mainstream.
Now.
And then people are going to be like, oh, wow, like Drake couldn't make sounds with his mouth, and like, that's what real musicians are. No, man. No. Those are instruments.
But Drake,
he doesn't need to learn those things anymore. It doesn't mean that he's any worse. It's just the fact that he makes music.
But somebody who is making Drake songs still needs to know chord theory and music theory.
Oh my God! But it's not about that. It's not, because no. Because it's the same way. It's the same way the Beatles had a band. They're probably in there, and there's a person that was standing out there, and I'm like, all right, well, can you make the bass come in here? Can you make this one over here? Oh, probably go less on over here, and let's start the chorus here. Let's put this over here. That person isn't the Beatles. They are the Beatles. The sound and what they've made is the Beatles. It's not what made them. That's what you gotta understand.
But
the final product.
But that happens in all music, where there's a producer in the studio kind of directing it. But like,
okay,
what I'm saying,
that's the final product. That's what I'm saying. Music is about the final product. You can't do that. You can't say because art instruments aren't music.
yes, they are. Of course, they are.
They're not. They are the tools to make. That's like no, man, no.
You just said instruments aren't music. Of course, instruments are music.
Instruments are not music. Instruments are the tools to make music.
Right. So when you're talking about people who make music and you're comparing them, that's a comparison to make.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You gotta understand that it isn't.
How is it not? I don't understand that. I have more respect for Cole as an artist because he makes a lot of his beats.
Wow.
And that, to me, that's a higher level of artistry.
Okay, artistry and musicians, I get it. I get it. What I'm saying is, right now, the definition of a musician does not incorporate being able to play instruments.
Yes, it does.
That should not. No, it's not. No, it is not.
Okay, yes, it does, dude.
No, it is not.
Oh, every other genre.
A person, Drake has probably never had a person on. If the Beatles were to perform now and there were no instruments and someone said, "Oh, don't worry, I have your loops in my set or whatever," they'd be like, "Okay," and they would sing. Would that make them any less of the musicians? Would you stop respecting them because they've done that?
There's still thousands and thousands of musicians who play their music. I mean, I don't even know.
Okay, but that's not. I get that. And that's because that's the form of how they play their music. That doesn't mean that's just because there are artists that don't play music, that don't play instruments, does not make them. It doesn't stop them from being musicians. And it shouldn't affect your list or your respect for one or the other because one plays the music and one doesn't.
It should.
It shouldn't.
I think it should.
It really shouldn't.
I think it's a real talent to be able to master.
Yes, that's, you know what? It is a talent. It's an incredible talent, but that's not the talent is the talent is not the final product. The product is everything coming together in a cohesive unit that you listen to. That is the music. What you're listening.
But also, if you're saying that Drake's singing counts, why doesn't somebody's instrument? Why doesn't someone who plays the music count? I don't understand that.
That's what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if there's a person that comes out there that can play the music, that doesn't change my opinion on the respect I give them. If Drake were to come out and play the instruments in all of his songs, that wouldn't change the respect I would give him for him as a musician. It really wouldn't. I would be interested. I would respect the fact that he can play the music, but it wouldn't change my opinion on him just because he has.
It would for me. I would be like, damn, that's
the point. That shouldn't.
Think about when people think about it. It's like, oh, they can dance, they can act, they can sing, they can play. Like that's like all the people use to like. And so it's like, oh wow, he can rap, he can sing, and he can make his beats. It's like, okay, he's the triple threat, bro. And I'm saying he can rap.
The Beatles. We're back in, when were the Beatles popular? The 70s,
60s.
We wake up in the 60s. All the Beatles wake up and they go, "Oh, I forgot how to play instruments." And then, but there was one person who goes, "Don't worry, I have future technology that we can play all the instruments on this laptop."
Yeah. And
they made all the music. Did that change anything for you?
Yeah.
Then it's not about the music that you enjoy. You enjoy the entire product to make the music rather than the music. But that's what I'm saying. The makeup of the song is bigger than that.
You're right. You're talking about enjoyment versus comparing them as artists. Those are different things. I think
Okay, there you go.
You can enjoy.
There you go. Comparing them as artists, I get it. That's your point. But the thing was, the music. Which one do I put better? Drake over Beatles? I'm putting Drake's music over the Beatles, but that's because that's what I'm listening to now.
Right.
That's what the question was.
Well, I'm trying to take this from like a step-by-step, point-by-point basis. That's why I brought that up. But yeah, in terms of enjoyment, yeah, it wouldn't. If the Beatles, if it was like Drake, if the Beatles walked in the studio and their producer had their instrumental all done, all they had to do was walk in and sing and leave. Yeah, that in terms of like their artistry and like like in this kind of arbitrary ranking, yeah, that would affect their ranking for me. Because it takes talent to be able to compose music.
Would that change the song?
Would it change the song?
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Would the song change?
Sonically?
Would the song change?
No, but I'm talking about the
Sam, I want you to say yes or no. It's a yes or no question. Would the song change?
Oh. But it would change the artistry of the people involved.
But now you're using different words.
No, I'm not. From the beginning, I said who's Drake versus the Beatles, who's a better artist. I didn't say Drake versus the Beatles, who do you enjoy to listen to more?
No, you said if the kids ask me this, you said Drake over the Beatles. What do? They make music. So it's about the music. It's about the product that they've put out, not the tools that they use to make the product.
I don't agree.
If someone built a hut with their hands, someone built a hut with their hands and their feet and their teeth and their eyes, a hut that was 2 stories, yeah, you'd go, wow, that's interesting. But if there's another person that used new material and new shit to make an entire new sculpture and building that was 10 stories high, it's about the final product that we see. It's not about what was put in for them.
When you're comparing artistry, it's also about the process. And I'm not talking about the final product. I'm talking about artistry. And I'm just saying personally, I have more respect for an artist who goes into the studio, composes their music, plays their music, and then sings their music instead of somebody who walks into the studio and sings.
I agree. Sam, that's what I've always said.
Okay.
What I said I didn't disagree with was you saying you will think of someone less because they don't do that.
I will think of their artistry as not as high.
No. You would actively not comparing. No, because you're comparing to that first person. I'm saying if there's one person only, and you just heard their song and you didn't know if they made it with by themselves or they made it in a booth or something, or someone else made it for them. It's not about that. It's about the final product that you hear.
I don't agree. I think in terms of enjoyment, I agree. Like if you're just talking about pure enjoyment, you're right. It's just about the final product.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about artistry, there's more involved to deduce.
Of course there are. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. That's where I'm at.
I hear that, but when we're trying to have a debate like about artistry, we have to pick it apart a little bit.
Which I am okay with. But then you have to also pick apart what you are You have to pick apart what you are deciding to pick apart. If you're gonna just say one is better because one is playing music and one is not, you have to understand. All right, let's go even further than that. What if you didn't know?
But I do know.
Okay. Oh my God. But that's what I'm taking out of the equation.
But in almost no scenario would you never know.
Yes, there is. In the 70s, you wouldn't have known. There's probably artists that made music back then that never even picked up their guitar, and you would have never known. Fucking what is it? Milli Vanilli. If they would have never been found out.
This
They
goes
would
back
have.
to
They
conspiracy.
would have never been found out if they did. If they were
Find
been
out.
found
Eventually, you find out.
out. But I'm taking away that
Look,
you're going eventually to something. That's the unknown.
Here's the thing. In any type of artistic criticism, you have to have context behind it. You can't just roam through the world and be like, "Oh, we're just gonna ignore all the context and
That's
all
not
the
true.
facts."
That's not true. I don't think it. I don't think you need to have it. I think we strive to understand what it is. I don't think we need to have
Well, I think it just depends. Like if you're having a debate like this, then you need to take that kind of stuff into context.
it. But I'm saying you don't. I'm saying you don't because it's about the final product that you're listening to. It's all about the final product, man. That's why I enjoy live performances. That's why I critique live performances. Because I'm saying if you can't do it live as well, there's a difference there. If you were to say live performances, Drake versus the Beatles, I would probably say, yeah, the Beatles are better. But that's not how I listen to music now.
But
I listen to stream music of the final product. I don't get a stream of, oh well, what isn't John Lennon just laid this nice riff, and then we're gonna make the song next week. Listen to this riff. Like, no, you listen to the final product.
So, but I feel like you just contradicted yourself. You said it's all about the final product, but then you said, well, if someone's better live, then that matters.
No, but that's yeah. But I was giving you, I wasn't contradicting myself. I was giving you a reason in one way that I agree, because that's different. I'm saying that's different. That's different because that's different ways that I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it if I'm hearing it live. If I'm hearing it live, they're performing it to me. Which ones are the better performers? They're performing it. I'm not streaming it.
Well, that's another factor you're taking in, and you said that I shouldn't be taking in other factors because it's all about the final.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. And the factor of the final product of music, that's a whole thing. But then I'm going to a whole nother point of performing. Performing is a different whole brick, right?
So why can I add my brick of performing in the studio?
You can. That's what I'm saying. But just because you're putting one brick on top of another doesn't mean that the brick that's under it that is supporting it is lesser than that brick that's on top. All right, Sam, I feel like we've done a good job. Podcast number 37. What is this one? 9?
8. Although I heard a statistic that said most people don't get past the 7th. So we've officially gotten past the average.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
thanks for watching and listening.